Hello, hello, hello. This is Noodle198 here. Today I'm going to be working with you guys and showing you how to do the breeding and the mutations. Now that being said, I've gone ahead and spawned in some snow owls. And, I've spawned in some high level ones because the higher the level, the more stats they have, or more points they have in each stat than lower levels, which is why you want to start with that. Now, just to get things out of the way, I am running a couple of mods here. I'm running the Dino Storage mod, I'm running S+, I'm also running Super Spyglass, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're looking at. Make it a little bit easier to see the stats themselves instead of trying to do the calculators, figure it out, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Now, that being said, I'm also going to be using the little tab button right here, just so I can, hover and highlight and show and point to what I'm talking about. And if there's any questions, just go ahead and leave a comment at the bottom of the video. Now, just to get started, we're going to talk about a couple of things that we're going to be using here. I do have my rates turned up a little bit just so that way we can get a real-time aspect. It really just depends on what settings your server has as to how quickly this is going to go. Obviously, you don't need the super fancy stuff that I have here. You can do it the old-fashioned way, set them to breed, drop the egg, pick it up, incubate it, so on and so forth. That's the old-fashioned way. It takes a while, so I mean, it all takes a while, but there's things that can help you along, make the process easier. Dino storage, for one, it is amazing. It's like cryopotting, and you can throw it in your propagators, so on and so forth. I've got a bunch of AC I threw here just to make sure the temperature is right, so we don't lose any eggs. Obviously, you don't need this many, but going overboard right now. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your Dino Storage Soul Terminal has some soul balls. You want to make sure that when you hold E on it, you go to Options, Newborn Auto Trap. You can turn mating on, turn mating off. You can enable them to pick up the dinos as soon as they're hatched, as soon as they're gestated and born. It doesn't really matter. But it picks them up, so that way when it picks them up, it auto claims them. So you don't have to be there every second, down to the minute when those babies are born, to claim them, cuddle them, so on and so forth. Now the generator, it's just running the hatchery and the nanny. The nanny, what it does is it will automatically feed infant dinos. Anything past infancy, it's all picked up by the feeding trough, which we have here. We're going to throw a little bit of meat in there. I know my dinos are hungry. They're going to be eating it, so we'll have to spawn in some more meat in a minute. But as you can see, starting off, you do it like this. You have one male, bunch of females. You try to get all the stats down. You try to breed, blah, blah, blah. What the hatchery does is it picks up those eggs and incubates them for you. Right? You can see here, we just have incubated eggs, just ready to go. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hatch those. And I'll figure out the, boom. Our soul terminal already picked up those dinos. Now, we did manage to get a set of twins here, apparently. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at these stats, right? So if you see those red, I can't use the thingy in here. If you see those little red -4, -13, 10, and 19s in parentheses, that means it got the lower of the stats of the parents. If you see the plus, it got the higher of the stats, and I don't understand why it's not showing any green. I know one of them will show green somewhere here. Give me a second here. I think green's mutations, but generally speaking, you want the higher stats. Now, that being said, we don't really want any of these right now because we haven't meshed the stats into even and odd. And I'll get into that here in just a second. So what we're going to do is the soul terminal allows us to destroy all those dinos. Don't have to kill them, don't have to harvest them, they're just gone forever. So right now I have one of the males and several of the females out, and I have 3 more males that I'm actually going to cryo all these guys up, just so I can split them up along a line and show you what we're looking at. Throw them out, throw them out. Basically, it's just like cryopods. It's same thing, just a little bit easier to use. If your server doesn't have it, you're obviously going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, move around by saddle, so on and so forth. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start writing down these stats as I go through them with you. So what we're looking for, pen, where's my pen? There it is. Note, here we go, health. Why is this not working? That's why. Alright, so we're going to set health, stamina, oxygen, food, weight, melee, and movement speed. Alright, so those are the ones we're looking at. Health is along this bar, the rest are right here. So what we're looking for is we're looking for an even stat right here. That one is beautiful. So that one's a 42, and we're going to keep that one. Stamina would be a 44. Depending on the dino, you don't really need oxygen. Snow owls, they're not going to be out in the water, they're not going to be out in space. So you can ignore the oxygen if you want. But if you're like me, you're a completionist, you'll want that to be maxed out. Same thing with the movement speed. Because these guys are spawned in, they didn't put any levels in movement speed, so we're not even going to worry about that right now. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to show you one stat. Everything, the other stats are done exactly the same way. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do two stats. Two stats here so I can show you exactly how to do this. Now, we're not going to worry about oxygen and food. Weight we want is a 34 and melee is a 30. So this one is perfect specimen. Perfect. Move on to the next one. This one, we got a bunch of odd numbers here. We don't really want those because when you mutate, any mutation adds 2 levels to whatever stat is mutated. If you're on a server like the one I'm playing on, where they don't cap out your maximum level, you can go up to 254 levels in every stat. It comes out to some pretty high level dinos, but depending on your server, they could have it capped, at which point you min-max, you want to find the lowest movement speed because it does nothing no matter if you breed it or not. I could have 254 levels in here, or I could have 0 levels in here. Both dinos are going to move the same. These zeros right here are what levels you put into them after taming, after birth, so on and so forth. So we don't worry about that. We just worry about these first numbers here. So this one, it has 33 stamina, 41 weight, 30 health. We already have higher levels, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take my blink rifle here. Boom. You're useless to me. Same thing with this one. Low levels, useless. This one, oh, we got a 42 weight, but we're not really focusing on that one right now. So it's got a 47. It's higher than this one's 42 health, but it's an odd number, so we don't want it. Same thing with this one. You know, odd health, odd stamina, odd melee. We don't want it. It's evil. Odd numbers, evil. Odd numbers, evil. And this one's got a 42 health and a 49 stamina. So instead of killing this one, what we're going to do is we're going to breed these two. That one's a female and that one's a male, so it works out. Now, normally, you would need all of this space here just to set up a breeding platform, just to do all of this. I'm going to go ahead and harvest these guys so we can get their meat. We don't have to spawn any in. Yes, I know. I'm running cheated and stuff, but you know, this is all for the speed at this point. Now what we can do is mutagen. Mutagen, I don't have chem bench here, do I? There we go. We'll take one of these chem benches I made earlier just to craft this up. I'm going to turn it on. So we're going to pop. We just want one of those. One of those in there, and we're going to craft. Oh, come on, craft it. Oh, I need 4. Alright. So, 408. Now we need 800. Alright, so 800 mutagen gives you 6 muted gel. 800 muted gel gives you 6 muted gen. That's, considering the time it takes to harvest this many, to get that many, I'm going to show you just how much it takes and what it does. Which is why, in my opinion, mutagen isn't all that great. It's easier just to go tame a bunch more dinos. So if you look on this one, look, we have a 42 health, we have a 49 stamina, we have 33 oxygen, 37 food, 26 weight, 37 melee, and a 0 on movement speed. So we go into his inventory and we pop in some mutagen. If you look here, we're at 100 of 46. So this one takes 46 mutagen in order to level it up. So we're going to go ahead and do it, right? So now if you look at it, it's now 245. If you do this to a bred dino, it will not transfer. If you do it to one that you tame from wild, it will transfer to the babies. So it does help, because if you look here, we now have a 54 stamina where we had 49. It gave it 5 levels. Oxygen and food did not change. Weight was a 26. Now it's a 31. Weight is a 42 where it was a 37. Obviously, it doesn't do anything to movement speed, and our health went from a 42 to a 47. So it changes 4 stats, 5 levels, which is great if you're trying to get one stat to an even number. If you're trying to get it to an odd number, same thing. It really just depends on your server settings. I'm going to be talking about 254s just because the server we're playing on right now, you can go to 254 levels. That being said, this one now has the high stamina. We don't want its health. So what we're going to do is we're going to cryo these guys back up. We could breed them out here. You can do whatever. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop them in a propagator. A propagator is just an easier way to... Are you not working? Why you no take my shards? Oh, you want element. Oh, it wants element. Okay, we're going to activate that. We're going to prepare them for breeding. Start breeding. You can actually make the female a male and the male a female. It does not matter. This section here, this will change all of them to female. This one will set them to, if they can't breed, that they can. Certain dinos, they're not supposed to be able to breed, but you can still breed them with the propagator. This section here is your mutation pulses. We're not going to worry about that until we have a bunch of females. Alright? So what we're going to do is we're going to reset everything, and we're going to start breeding. You can view the breeding progress. It's going to take 2 minutes. 2 minutes for it to breed a dino. That being said, we got to wait those 2 minutes. And cue time lapse now. And with the power of video editing, we are done mating. Now we're going to have to wait a second for it to register and use all the element shards, whatever it happens to be using at the time. But once it does, it's going to give us a nice little S+ egg here. That's the same as your snow owl egg, except it's going to be able to show you stats. If you were to look at a regular snow owl egg, it just says its parents are this one and this one, whereas come on, pop up. It's still mating. Once it says recovering, there we go. So now we have a snow owl egg. Now we can see here it's got a 47 health, 34 weight, 37 oxygen, 0 movement speed, 44 stamina, 42 melee, and a 37 health. So really, we don't want anything out of that. Actually, we want everything out of that except the food, the oxygen, the movement speed, and the health. 42. So it got some mothers. You can actually see it pink and blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off of the stamina and weight, it looks like. We'll take this one, get rid of it. We don't want it anymore. And we're going to take this egg and we're going to drop it. Once it's dropped, it's going to start incubating, and I've got to set the time on here. Let's see here. Let's go. Where did I find that time of day command? Okay, so now that the egg is hatched, and once I there we go. Now we're brightened up. Now once that egg is hatched, our soul terminal is going to pick it up. We got a baby female. So we're going to take this one, we'll put that one in there, we're going to destroy it because we don't need it anymore. Realistically, you want to keep your originals, but in this particular instance, we're going to get rid of it because I don't really care about them. Alright, so that baby grew up pretty dang quick there, huh? Imprinting 100%, which is what the nanny comes into play. The nanny will actually imprint your baby dinos for you if you didn't already know that. So now we're going to snowball that one up. We're going to throw it in here. Or, alternatively, we can clone it. We have exactly the same stats. Because realistically, you want a male and a female with exactly the same stats. And let's see if I can't spawn in some element shards. If I can spell. I don't want element shard. There we go. There. That's what I want. Alright, we're going to control V, enter. There we go. So now we have a bunch of element shards. We're going to throw some in here. And we're going to. There it is. Clone this dino. There we go. Perfect. Thanks to the power of speeds, we have two dinos with the exact same stats. So we're going to pop those guys in here. We're going to prepare them for breeding. We're going to start breeding again. Set one to male, one to female, and breed. We want to do that until we can fill this sucker up, right? So instead of that, I'm just going to go ahead and clone the crap out of them. So I will be back once I have a crap ton of snow owls to throw in there. And boom! Through the power of video editing, we now have 98 dinos in this propagator. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one more, and I'm going to take my mutator. And normally this would be where you would, I need element, crap. There we go. Alright, this would be where you would take your put it in there we go. Alright, you can create your mutation pulses if you had the dinos all laying out like this one is, but the mutator is an amazing thing because it does it itself. You can also swap gender, which is what I'm going to do now. Just for ease of access. You don't have to, but it helps with knowing what we're going to be doing right now. So there's our male. They're all clones. They're all the same stats. You can also change this to grants a random gender, grants nearby dinos ability to breed that don't normally, set the imprint, you stop them from aging, you can set them to grow much more rapidly, and then your mutation pulse right there, which we'll get into in a little bit. I personally use it on my server for increased growth because it makes things a lot simpler. So now that we have Well, let me give me some more element for this. You don't really want to fill this thing. You want to have at least one slot open so it can actually do what it's supposed to be doing. You click this and it'll start dropping the eggs automatically. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare the dinos for breeding. Now you can see they all have exactly the same stats. And we're going to focus on our stamina and our weight for now. So we're going to click start breeding and it's going to give us this option, right? So they're already all female. If they were non-gendered, you could select female and then make this one male, but we don't need to. Now each server is different. Server I play on allows 3 mutation pulses. Some allow 10, some allow more. I'm just going to type in 999,000. It's going to give us this one. This single player map is allowing me 20 mutation pulses, which is a grand total of 40 levels. And we're going to start breeding. Now, we do still have to wait the 2 minutes, but once this 2 minutes is up, we're going to have 97 eggs. Each one of those eggs is guaranteed 20 mutations. Every mutation is 2 levels. And you'll see the massive difference it has once this time is up. So I will see you in about a minute and a half. Okay, so now we have all of our eggs out here. They're all hatched. And our soul terminal has picked them all up. Now if we hover over them, you can see got any mutation. There we go. Our weight is now at 74. Not all of them get it, and some of them do. But you have to know your original stats, which is why you want to keep your originals, right? So if we know we're looking for a, let's see here, 40, 34, 74, that's 40 on the weight. So what we can do is an advanced search. And we're going to always type in, I don't remember what that weight was. Weight is 34, so we're looking for 74 and an 84 in stamina. So we're looking for stamina. You gotta put it in that bracket and look for 84. I'm going to go ahead and drop the guys in the soul terminal so I know which ones are which. Alright, so we have a couple. That one happens to be male, so we'll keep it. And we're looking for weight of 74. So this one's a female, we want that male. Boom, perfect. Alright, now we can get rid of all the rest of these. You can pull out more, you can keep more, you can do whatever you want, but these are the only 2 we really care about. Boom, grown up. Boom, grown up. That's a pretty one. So now, we'll cryo both of these. What we'll do is we'll come down here, and we're going to get rid of this one. We want to keep it, but we want to get rid of it. So now we're going to take our 84 stamina, pop it in there, prepare them for breeding, start breeding. Obviously, we got to wait on the cooldown timers. I don't know how long that is in this thing. There we go. We still have a bunch ready. Set them all to female, except for this one. We're going to do our 20 mutation pulses again and start breeding. Now, this is where it gets tricky. That first round, that very first round, it could have put that mutation anywhere. You could keep them. And the more propagators you have, the better, because you can have one propagator set up for each stat. If it's your first mutation, you're going to get it on the stat you want because you want each stat. The second mutation is a little bit more difficult because we're looking for another 20 stat points on just the stamina. Now, if we had another mutator set up, this one, nope, not that one. This one, yeah. This one, we'd be looking for another 40 stat points on just the weight. It can and will put 40 points, depending on your server. 3 mutations, 6 points. 12 mutations would be 24 points. 1 mutation is every 2 points. Or Every 2 points is one mutation. It can and will put more mutations on this one, but in health, we could end up with an 87 health, when in reality, we wanted that to be 114 weight. So, I will show you that one. Actually, you know what? I am not going to... I'm going to turn this on. So that way it picks up the eggs so we can look at the different ones where it shows you the pluses and the minuses and where your mutations ended up. However, we still have to wait about another 10 seconds or so. So we'll wait a minute and we'll see what they end up being. It's going to drop the eggs. If you have it as holding the eggs, they'll end up in here. But oh crap! I need more element. They're in there. Oh, that was quick. That was close. All right, there we go. It dropped the eggs. Pick them up. Pick them up. Pick them up. Pick them up. Nope. Pick them up manually. Before they hatch. Before they hatch. The more we pick up, the better. Oh, there we go. I got them. All right. So now we have all of our eggs in here. Like I was saying, it has an 82 health, or 82 melee. We didn't want melee. We wanted stamina, and we wanted health, weight. So all of our dinos currently have 44 stamina, 84 stamina, 44. So it can still get the mother's stamina, which is this one. That one got the mom's stamina. This one got mom's stamina, but it got the mutations put in weight. We don't want that. This one, mom's stamina, mutations in weight. It's basically the same as what we just got the last round. So we're looking for one of these, one of them that has dad's stamina and 40 mutations in the stamina. And let's see if I can't find one really quick. There, no, that wasn't quite it. You can see it has put it on health, movement speed, it can put it anywhere. There we go. So this one, it got the mutated stamina from the dad, and it also got the mutations put into stamina from the mutation pulses. So that's the one we're looking for. We're going to go ahead and drop that one, let it incubate, and it's going to get picked up by our soul terminal. So now, we would take this one. We're going to put you in here, because I don't want to lose track. We're going to take this one, hatch it. We are going to take this one, pull that male out, put him in a safe place. We don't need to keep this one specifically in a safe place. And we're going to cryo this one back up, and we're going to do the whole process again. Put him in here. Prepare them for breeding. Start breeding. Now, if you can't breed them because they're on a cooldown, they'll be grayed out like that. But that's the process you want to continue. Now, it gets a bit trickier when, see, these have cooldown timers. It's a bit random with the propagators. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. We just have to wait for those timers to end up. But what happens when you finally get to that 254, you want to take this one. If it was a 254 stamina, you want to take that one and breed it with another dino with the 254 stat and something else, and keep breeding until you have your stats maxed out, until you have all the 254 stats on one dino, at which point you can either clone it, or if you manage to get two of them, you can breed them, and you just keep two of those originally maxed out dinos in a safe place, so that if you ever need to, you can breed another one. But what we're looking at now is the great thing about the exaggeration on the mutation pulses. You can see we've only done 2 mutations, 2 of them, and they're all on the male side. There's no mutations on the female side. Now, what would happen if I bred this one with the weight, we would get 3 mutations. There are 3 mutations. Well, if I bred it again with another one with 3 mutations, it would automatically have 6. Do it again, it's going to make it 12. It's going to double every single time because it's counting the mutations from mom and dad and combining them. You don't look at the mutation number, you look at the stat number. Simple as that, super easy to do. It seems super complicated, but once you have the gist of it, you can actually get your dinos to a really high level. Now, it does take some time, but once you do, you end up with great dinos and an ability to make more. The mutations, don't even worry about those. Just worry about where the mutations ended up in the stats. Sometimes it's harder to tell, sometimes it's easier. When you get to a level where you're at 154 and you're doing one mutation, you're now at 156, 158, so on and so forth. It takes a lot of breeding cycles, a lot of gestation timers, a lot of mating cooldown, a lot of egg hatch speed, incubation times. But once you're there, it is super easy. It seems complicated, but I promise you it's not. I can't really think of anything else necessarily to particularly add to the subject. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like, whatever you want. I'm on my Discord, so if you're in my server, just go ahead and message me, and I can get back to you as soon as I can. But hopefully this helps clear everything up. You guys have been great. If you need anything, let me know, and I'll leave you there. Have a nice day.